Hello, fellow wrestling crusaders, and welcome to our latest episode. My name's Sean Wassercrew. With me, as always, is Jordan JPO Owens.
Hey, wait a minute. That's me.
Yes, it is. And here we are talking about AEW All In. It was this past weekend. Like I said, we call it AEW WrestleMania now. But it was another big show. Not as big as last year's, where it was like 80,000. We had like 50,000 this time. They were not shy about showing the empty seats in this pay-per-view. Have you noticed that too? There's a lot of times where like, let's focus on the crowd. It's like, that section's empty. Don't show the camera there. What are you doing? But I will say this though. I did not get and I said this on the last episode, I did not get to watch it live. I watched it probably about 5 hours after it ended. So I did not get to watch any of 0 Hour. So Jordan, I'm gonna have to give it over to you for all the 0 Hour stuff. But what were your general thoughts of it before we dive into the match-by-match breakdown? Did you like this one better than 23? Or was it on par?
You know what? I'll off the top of the dome, I'm going to say better than 23. Well, it didn't have a bad main event. I don't know if it was like the greatest main event. And I think this is a really solid main event. So maybe just that's what might take me off a little bit over for it. I'd have to really compare it though. I wasn't ready for that question.
I know a lot of people have been asking like, who was it better than the last one? I was like, I mean, the last one had the not the stigma, but it had like the holy crap, this is a huge show kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
and
you're never gonna get away from the first time.
Yeah, but I think
as far as specialness and added aura to the first one.
Yeah, I think they did a better job of structuring the storylines and the feuds going into this one. This one definitely felt like a WrestleMania type event because we had like your Royal Rumble winners of like aka the Owen Cup. So we had like these, hey, they won their shot and they're building their storylines up there. We had some, great storyline build with MJF Ospreay, but then there were some throw-in matches as well that didn't quite fit. Whereas last year, you basically kind of had you had the whole MJF Adam Cole thing, like they're best friends, but they're gonna wrestle each other. What are we gonna do? Oh, one's gonna turn on the other. But then, like when I try to think about the rest of the show, all I can really remember off the top of the head is Glassgate with Jack Perry and CM Punk, and then Samoa Joe and him open the show. Exactly. So I was like, I'm trying to remember back to the show, and it's like. Yeah, I remember liking the show a lot, but if you're asking me to remember anything outside of the Jack Perry Punk, MJF Adam Cole-ness of it all, I don't remember a whole lot. But I feel like I will remember a lot more about this event than I did last year. So I actually do think that this one was a step up from last year. But let's go into the 0 Hour. Like I said, I did not get to watch any of the 0 Hour. Do you have anything you want to add for those 3 matches? And like we said when we talked last week during our predictions, there was only 1 0 Hour, but we said they're going to add one. I didn't think they were going to add a 16-man and a 10-man match to the deal, but God bless Tony Khan. Hey, if you're on the roster this year, you got a nice little bonus of a payday, because I don't know. I wanted to look at the roster. I meant to look at the roster and go, who didn't get booked at the end of the day? Because pretty much everybody There were certain people who didn't get booked because I was expecting them to pop up at certain matches later.
Who did we not see?
I was gonna wait till we got to the match. I fully expected Shibata and Joe to show up during Hook and Jericho.
Joe might just be busy. Yeah, was there 0 Shibata? Or was he not in one of these matches?
No, Shibata wasn't in anything.
No, Shibata's in it. Yes, he is.
Was he? Yes, he fucking was. Well, like I said, I didn't watch 0 Hour. I'm looking at the card now. He wasn't. Why the fuck did he not come out and help Hook? Hook was literally getting his ass kicked 3 against 1. Yeah. I figured, here comes Joe and Shibata. No. Why the fuck did Shibata not come out?
The Joe thing again could have just been a timing thing, and there was plenty of Daniel Garcia's back, and so maybe you don't want to overdo that.
But that's not. I don't feel like Shibata's been gone long enough. He was just knocked down for a week or two.
Shibata, there's no reason he couldn't have came out. I just meant Joe wise. And I think Shibata had a spot.
Okay. Yeah, but I was like, they should have come out and they've been feuding with the Learning Tree this whole fucking time. time. And no one fuck Hook. That's basically how it felt during that whole match. But what were your thoughts on the big 16 man? Anything?
I mean, yeah, this is just it's pretty much just get everybody out there here. I mean, it's both matches, 11 minutes, mixed tag 8, 10-man 11 again. So not a shit ton of time here. Leo Rush, Dante Martin, Darius Monton, Action Andretti, Kyle Fletcher, Kim Sabian, Tommy Billington, Rocky Romero, defeated Jay Lethal, Stanham Singh, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, Ari Daivari, and Anthony Ogogo. I mean, it was fine. I mean, they're watchable matches here, but they are very much the epitome of everybody kind of gets a couple moves in here. At least everybody got to have an entrance too. So, good on them here. The mixed tag is very much met my expectations here. Kind of just a fun, Stokely taking some bumps here, rocking his wrestling gear, which you saw on Collision as well if you were watching Collision. But yeah, Nightingale and Ishii getting the win here. Very face heavy. Pre-show as well as I kind of thought it might be, because then in the main event, Dustin Rhodes, the Von Erich, Sammy Guevara, and Shibata, they defeated Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, Brian Cage, Toliona, and Bishop Khan here. Like I said, good seeing all these guys get a spot here. This is technically 2 years in a row now. Sammy Guevara is not on the main card. I don't think he made it last year as well. Glad to see Dustin getting a spot here. A couple people later on you might see in the Gauntlet, and they're like, oh, okay, good. At least they're on the show.
Yeah. This was definitely in terms of Brian Cage, get your shit in during these matches.
Well, everybody was Mr. GMSI, get my shit in, these matches.
And the mixed tag went exactly how I expected it to go. Are we supposed to buy that Stokely could go against Ishii? No, of course not. So Willow and Chris basically, did the whole thing on their own for the most part, and then they just kind of came in and did the end. It's just you get someone like Ishii in there. Like I said, it would have been better if it was like Danhausen, because at least then it would have been like, okay, maybe Stokely could get a little bit of a lick in there, but no, we're not going to buy the Ishii and Stokely are on the same level.
Danhausen's not with the company anymore, man.
Is he not? Is his contract up?
Oh, okay. I thought you were thinking that because you said that last time too. Danhausen is gone from AEW. Yeah.
I mean, dude literally pops up like once every 2-3 months, and so like I just expected him to
that's
be
part
doing
of the
one of those
reason
things.
He's gone from AEW. He was like, "Hey, listen, like, use me or don't. Like, come on, what's up?"
I mean, he didn't really bring much to the damn table either, though. So I mean, he just was the same shtick.
Sold merch, baby.
He sold merch, but I mean, he's not like Orange, where Orange actually went out there like, yeah, ooh, you did this, cool, but. I mean,
how dare you say bad things about the Danhausen?
I haven't really got to watch him in anything outside of AEW, so I'm sorry, he doesn't really bring much to the table for me. Like, I felt the same thing about Orange when Orange first showed up. He went out there and proved himself. Danhausen never did that shit to me. Yeah, he never did that. And the 1 or 2 matches he had, I wasn't like wowed by him either. Now he could show up on NXT or something and actually start running, like, oh shit, okay, he actually can work. But as of right now, no, I haven't seen anything to really be like, ooh, Danhausen. Like, no, it's just he's got a quote and he's got a stick and that's it. That's all he's got to me.
He's very toyetic.
He's very what?
Toyetic.
Does that mean that he's very merch toy heavy? Is that what you're saying? The hell is toyetic?
It's okay. I'm sorry. I guess someone's not a Cardona Myers Major Wrestling Figure podcast fan. He's great for action figures and for merch. Yeah, you kind of had it.
Yeah, he's the boogeyman, but not nearly as scary.
Yeah, very toyetic.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be scared to be toyetic.
Well, when you said it, my brain went there, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I wanted to make sure that I was like, that is what you're meaning by that term.
No, I mean like Shawn Michaels toyetic. Maybe like a
Undertaker.
It's not toyetic. Stone Cold's not that great toyetic. He's got a
because he's the same fucking toy every goddamn time. Yeah. Nothing changes on Stone Cold. Going to the main card. Yes, the 4-way London ladder match with Pac and Blackpool Combat Club, the Patriarchy, the Bang Bang Gang, and House of Black. I said this was going to be a major clusterfuck going into this. What were your thoughts? I definitely have thoughts, but what were yours?
I don't want to say it was too clusterfucky in the end. I mean, I thought we had some good spots, some good moments here. I thought all the ladders were super small
Because the
until finally we
belts
got
were
the big one.
super fucking low. Who the fuck
Yeah,
tells
true.
you
Like you
having
said,
that low?
they had to bounce up. I mean, the ladders are pretty much forehead level with half the
They were like
wrestlers.
super
So
wide. That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, why are these ladders so wide? And I'm looking like, it's because the belts are like, you could get on the top rope and jump to the center of the ring, and you could probably hook your hand on a belt. That the equivalent of this, and you can attest to this because you're an indie worker, is like when we're working in an armory or something, and they decide, hey, let's have a ladder match, but they can't put the ladders super high up, so we have like the cheap ass ladders. It's like, guys, I only need to go up like 3 rungs, and I'm like 5'7". Like, if I don't need to go up to the full fucking top of the ladder to reach these belts, why am I expecting fucking like Luchasaurus or Kill Switch or Brody and shit? Like, come on, guys. Like, you're AEW. Fucking put these these belts up at least another 3, 4, 5 feet. Because when you brought the big motherfucker in, like, just use that and fucking hit the belts. Like, that's all you had to do. Those belts are gonna fall down. Treat them like a fucking pinata. But anyway, yeah, the belts were way too fucking low, which made the fucking ladder spots kind of insignificant. There really wasn't many ladder spots in this fucking ladder match. I felt like...
Yeah, that's fair enough to say, I guess.
What was with the tables? These felt like the thinnest fucking tables. Or did you notice that?
Yeah, you kind of see that from the get-go, too, when they drag them out. Like, yeah, they look skinny, yeah.
Yeah, and looked like they had like metal bolts in them, like in certain areas, and they didn't like break the way they're supposed to break, so like it looked awkward, almost like New Japan tables, where it's just like, these tables will fucking kill you. Like, they're thin, but they don't give a fuck. Like, they're gonna hurt you before you hurt them. But yeah, this match didn't really do much for me. Like I said, the ladder spots felt very tame, mainly because they couldn't actually get high enough on the ladders for anything to really matter in the match. But you were right to a point. You picked Pac and Blackpool, and I totally did not expect them to win this match, which almost makes me feel like, once again, they have no direction with the trios belts. Like, what's the point of them if you're not going to have a... Because Pac's not even like friends with Blackpool, so it's just like,
no, it screamed so random. Like, well, we just want these guys on the show, and Toni loves him. I think at least likes all these 3 guys. So, yeah. I
mean, I like for the most part, I like everyone in this match. But it's like, if you're wanting your championship titles to matter, put it at least with a trios team that's actually a fucking trios team. Yeah. Not this is the same equivalent of like when fucking Stone Cold and Dude Love won the tag titles, and it's like, why? Like, just why? Now, granted, Blackpool and Pac could coexist with Blackpool to an extent. They can, but it just felt like, okay, like, I'm not sure what was the point of this, but except for just giving Pac a win in Wembley, which I get, but it means, they're going to drop the fucking titles here within the next, month. Like we felt like with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, but they're still the champs. They've actually grown themselves into tag champs there, but this could work out. But yeah, this match did really nothing for me. Going to the next match, though, this was the match that probably had some of the biggest built-up story. This story's been going on for a year, but it finally kicked up a notch here in the last month or two. We've got Mariah May against Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. You and I were both kind of in agreement on this. We both said that Mariah really hasn't had her moment, her match moment. Now, she's had good promo shit. She's had good stuff outside of the ring, like when she attacked Toni, but she really hasn't had that it match. Do you think this match was her it match?
I don't know if it's her it match. I think it's getting her close there. I mean, obviously, it's her it moment. You know what I mean? This is a pretty, as big as you're going to get moment in your career. Am I super solidified in the match? Not necessarily. Not overly either, but not necessarily personally.
I thought it was her best match to date. But that's also because you had the added story. You had the emotions. You had the adrenaline for this character between her and Toni. I liked it for what it was. I think I think Toni did a good job of bringing the best out of Mariah. Fucking Mariah slapped the ever-living shit out of her mom. Like, god damn. Like, I said, like, oh, she's gonna slap her mom. And then she fucking Stephanie McMahoned her. I was like, Jesus, man, you're gonna get a talking to after this match. But like, I thought it was well. I thought it was well done. I thought it was good, hard hitting. I think it was that moment that Mariah needed. Now let's see what she does to capitalize on this moment. Are we gonna get a rematch with them at All Out, or are we gonna move on from this? I feel like we're gonna get a rematch at All Out because I don't think like Toni is just gonna like go away right away for this. So I feel like this is not the end of this feud, even though Toni doesn't really like doing rematches on pay-per-views. For some, just because All Out is 2 weeks away, I feel like this match is due to have at least one more between these two. Do you agree? Do you think Mariah should move on and Toni should move on?
If it was another pay-per-view, kind of like you said, weeks away or a month away, I'd say maybe they can set up something else because it's so soon. No, yeah. I think we will see maybe a step and a rematch.
Okay, maybe Lights Out or something like that. Well, I don't know. Lights Out could be already booked with Chris Statlander and Willow, but
you and your Lights Out is your go-to
because that's what all the women's matches are. All the big women's brawl matches are Lights Out matches. Britt and Thunder Rosa had that, and I mean it's just every time that's Britt's bread and butter.
Shoe on a pole. I fucking told you this, Sean.
With Luther in a shark cage. Yeah, we finally got Luther back. We finally got Luther back. I guess. I'm fine. I'm fine with them going and running this back again. I think it deserves it because of the time they put into the storyline. But yeah, I thought it was a solid. It was definitely the first match on the card that made me feel something. I granted it's a second match, but still, it was the first match where you go, okay, here we go. Now we're at All In. But then there was Hook and Jericho for the FTW Championship. Like I said, I spoke on this a little bit ago. Yeah, for the world, right? It's for the world. Jericho came out, sung with Fozzy for like 2 seconds. Which, if I'm Fozzy, I'm like, we flew out here for this. This is all we did. But hey, it was a booking, so I guess be okay with it.
I know. If I'm thinking about buying a ticket to a Fozzy concert, I'm looking for the refund button personally.
Yeah, I mean Jericho definitely didn't sing the greatest. I mean, but
no,
it's like
it was not a great performance.
It wasn't. He looked like he was not confused, but he looked like he was out of breath, which is like, well, dude, it's not because you're walking, because you walk all over the place when you perform. But yeah, he looked like he wasn't sure what he was doing as he was doing it. Big Bill is super fucking over for some reason. Man. I like Big Bill, but my God, London loves Big Bill.
I enjoyed the match he had with Hook on Saturday, and I think he stood out here as well, and yeah, he was over this weekend.
Oh yeah, no, I want Big Bill to get huge. Honestly, I prefer Big Bill over Wardlow to a point because I think Wardlow is solid, but he just doesn't move the needle for me. But Big Bill does. The match itself, first things first, those croquet balls. What the fuck? Hook swinging those things. If he had gotten a good hit on that, he could have seriously fucking hurt someone in the crowd. Like, I was going, what are you doing? Why are you like? The ring is not that far from the audience. If you got a good hit on that cricket mallet, you're gonna fuck someone up, and Tony's gonna get sued. And trust me, Tony's gonna have to pay out big. It was a very stupid weapon thing to have in that match. There was that whole time. I suppose I was more worried about them missing each other and it going out into the audience and hurting someone, because those things are gonna cause some serious fucking damage. But yeah, like I said, it felt weird that Shibata was on the show and then didn't come out and help Hook. I thought Joe would have came out. He didn't, but like you said, there was enough like shocking, comebacks in this.
Yeah, you kind of want to overdo that.
Speaking
I
of,
don't know if that was physically possible, but you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah. I'll bring this up after we're done with Hook and Jericho because I was right about one thing. But yeah, the match itself. I'm sorry. Does Hook have anything besides that suplex? does he have any moves besides the red rum and the suplexes? I feel like this whole match was him just punching and kicking and then doing that suplex. And that was it. I feel like that's all Hook really has in his repertoire lately. It's just different versions of doing that same suplex on Jericho. The match didn't do anything for me at all. Jericho lost. Taz went out there and put on, I'm not going to call it the Taz mission because he fucking didn't even lock that shit in. All he did was basically put Brian Key's arm up like this and then the hand was like over here. It's like, dude, you don't even have it locked in. I get it. You're older, Taz. You don't move as well anymore. But like, at least try to clinch it up a little bit. Fuck. But yeah, I didn't really give a shit about this match. Luckily, it was the shortest match on the card, not counting 0 hour. But did you have anything to add with this match at all?
Oh, this is short. Okay, I was gonna say I thought that coffin match was shorter, but no, they do beat it by like 20 seconds. It just that one felt short. That could have been longer. Yeah, no, this pretty much met my expectations, which is not super great. You know what I mean? It's a rematch. I didn't feel like we need. You know, I in a weird way, I always said I wanted Hook to lose just so Hook could move on because cool. He's the 3-time FTW champ. That his dad's fake title. All right, cool. Yeah, this is just kind of whatever for me here at the end of the day here. Like, I don't egregiously hate it, but I also don't really care about it much either.
One part of the match that did irk me, though, they're about 3/4 of the way through the match, and Hook takes off the tape. He goes, I can see this entire time. So you went through 3/4 of this match blind on purpose to just prove a point? Like, you're like, no, like, if you're going to do that in the beginning of the fucking match. You don't wait till, like, 2 minutes left and go, oh, you can see. No, because that just makes you look like a fucking idiot. You were taking shots to the side that you couldn't see. Like, oh, God, I hated that. It's like, did he forget the spot?
Like you said, why wasn't it ding, 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 1 second? All right, let's do this. You know what I mean?
Because he even did it, and Jericho couldn't even react to it because Jericho was down. Like, if you're going to do that, do it where Jericho has a reaction like, oh, shit, he's not hurt. Get him, and then they all attack him. Like, make it make sense.
Bad storytelling, bad green stuff. Like, I gotta imagine. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
there was nothing really to feel good about with this match. There was nothing good.
Like the Taz thing is kind of cool, I guess, just to see at least Taz do something. But even that, because I didn't care about the match, and the angle, even then I was like, all right, cool, Taz is up.
Yeah, and where they go from here with either one of them, I mean, it's like, I'm sure Jericho will find something to do. I hope Big Bill has something to do, because
Jericho really always does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bill, I hope Bill gets actually in more matches, maybe some wins. Yeah, I'm a proprietor of Bill.
But I really don't care where Hook goes from here. I just don't. I don't buy into Hook. Like, I don't give a shit about Hook. But next we have the 3-way tag team match for the trios, or not the trios, I'm sorry, the AEW Tag Team Championship. We have the Young Bucks against FTR against the Acclaimed. I will admit, I kind of talked shit about the Acclaim on the prediction show, saying that they're only here to take the pin. Why are they even in this match? They don't deserve it. They actually went out there and put on a fucking good match. I liked the match. I thought it had a good flow. But a problem I had with this, as well as with other parts of the show, the ending felt flat with the Young Bucks winning. I don't feel like them winning brought anything to the table for the tag team belts. But I did like what they did up to that point. I think that the 3-way flowed. I think they all went out there, got their shit in. I think it was entertaining for what it was, and then it just kind of ended with the Young Bucks winning. That part didn't work for me. Then you added the Grizzled Young Vets, which, okay, cool, but even that didn't really feel like it did much. Like, they came out, they stared off against the Young Bucks, and then decided to attack FTR, and there was like zero crowd reaction to any of that. So up to the end, I actually really enjoyed this match, but the ending just did not work for me. How did you feel about this match?
I agree with a lot of what you said here. I mean, yeah, match-wise, I thought it was good, which I thought it would be, these 3 teams. I liked it. I was always for the addition of the Acclaimed here, because while Young Bucks and FTR don't have a bad match. I didn't necessarily feel their match last year actually ever got to that next level, so I was okay with a new addition into the match here. FTR and Acclaimed should have talked backstage because they were all rocking like Bret Hart inspired tights. A lot of black and pink.
I mean, the Acclaim always wears pink, but yeah.
This felt even more so, at least with Caster. It felt very, very kind of different and more just was very similar to what his opponents were wearing. Bones was wearing more of like the bright pink and like the white. No, and yeah, like I said with the ending, I'm just kind of over the Bucks just because this reign's been very lackluster here. If they start to actually do stuff, like I might be more won over here. I enjoyed their gear, their Beatles gear. So you know what I mean. So I don't hate the ending because again, it's not like any of these teams necessarily needs this win. So it was kind of like an okay kind of outcome. I feel like no matter what would have happened, even though Young Bucks retaining was probably my least favorite idea. Although of course the counter to that is we did get several title changes. So maybe you gotta have a retain here and there. And this match does make sense to be a retain. So that tracks out as well here. I forgot there's like one more thing I want to say, but I already forgot.
While you think about it, I did like the spot in the match where they were using the other team's partners to hit their finishers. I liked that, how I had was it Max and I think it was Matt. They both hit the V trigger and then they hit the I just liked how they integrated everyone else into hitting everyone else's moves kind of thing. I even dug Billy Gunn going in there and fame-assing on the belt because he went in there and he made sure he's like, here's the belt, here's your face, you're going right in it. He hit his mark. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. There is a funny video out there that I guess right before the show started, Okada came out in a suit. This is when they were just hanging around at the ringside, and Okada took his suit off and he was wearing Nick's outfit and did the whole Young Buck thing, and Nick was like, I mean, you look great, but that's not cool, man. I love that Okada can just kind of just have fun. Now, granted, I want Okada to be bigger because he's Okada, but I like it that Okada can just have fun here. He doesn't feel like he has to be super serious like he was in New Japan. Did I give you enough time to figure out what you were going to say?
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to talk about agreeing with you on the Grizzly Young Vets thing. That one was a bit... I like them a lot. I think they're a good addition to any tag team roster, but I don't know if they're a big enough pay-per-view surprise. Because, you said, the reaction wasn't there. And also, too, this isn't a holy shit moment. They wrestled on Collision before. So it's not even we've never seen these guys.
Yeah.
This
definitely should have been saved for Dynamite or Collision again.
Yeah,
this should have been all in moment.
Yeah. This is definitely a TV return that they felt like they kind of hoped it would be big enough for pay-per-view. And I hate saying that it's not because again, I like these two a lot, but it didn't totally translate, unfortunately. Here,
because I agree.
Who is? Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, it's them. Because I like them as a team as well. I like what they do, but I remember watching them, as it was happening, I just looked past them and I looked at the crowd, and the crowd was just okay.
Yeah, it's the Dark Order debut. It's the maybe even Butcher and Blade to a degree. It's okay, it's not anyone big.
It's if you're gonna bring someone in to do this, bring in someone fucking big. I can't think of a tag team right now that would equal that currently.
Right.
That's not on a roster locked in already. But
unfortunately, your expectations, especially on we said, this is Mania. This is pretty much Mania at this point.
Yeah.
It's not even just a pay-per-view, it's Mania, so it's you're thinking next level. You're thinking holy shit, it's DIY. I don't know. You're thinking
or it's I mean, even to an extent, I don't think they would hit the same way anymore. But the Hardys or someone of that caliber, but even the Hardys doing it now would have been it's the Hardys. They've been gone for 2 months. But someone like that, the Dudleys, somebody.
No, it's a big team. If they had signed Shelley and Sabin, that would have been a cool moment.
That would have been a great moment. But we know they're going WWE. But those guys.
Right. But I'm just saying, we're a worthy enough name, because unfortunately, this is like I said, it's a team that we've seen on TV.
You know what would actually been cool?
Your own company.
It's not gonna work because he's a travel agent now. Beer Money. Fucking Beer Money came out. Fucking James Storm and Robert Roode. I'm like, holy shit. I would have taken that one. That'd be a great feud with FTR. I think that would be a fun feud. But anyway.
Hey man, I heard Roode said he's not necessarily retired, so
I don't want him to be retired.
His contract.
I fucking want Robert Roode back to wrestling. I fucking love Robert Roode.
Yeah.
Next we had the Casino Gauntlet match. This to me was probably the best Casino Gauntlet match we've had so far. This one felt because I was watching this, I was like, okay, like they gotta actually like let this one go for a while, and they did. I felt like the surprises were great. I lost my shit when Nigel came out. I could not have been more giddy when Nigel came out. I fucking love Nigel McGuinness. I always thought it was one of the biggest like heartbreaks in wrestling when he had to like forcibly retire because of the bullshit that happened. And then hearing that he might be able to come back, I was like, oh man, that'd be so great if him and Danielson fought it all in, but we didn't obviously get that. But when Nigel came out, first off, he looked great. He came out there, he was able to work everybody. And I'm glad they did it in a way where, because like every time you have an announcer that's like thrown into a match, they always like have them go out there and like, oh, they can't work with anybody. Like, oh, they're not a wrestler. Even if they were like Wade, like if Wade Barrett went in there right now in WWE, he probably get his ass kicked because, oh, he's out of wrestling for so long. Nigel was in there fucking people up. And I fucking loved that. And I was like, I swear to God, if he hits the Tower of London in this match, I'm going to lose my shit. And then we fucking finally got it. Did you have anything with Nigel? Or did that get spoiled for you? Or how are you when Nigel came out?
No, I popped big. It wasn't until this weekend, because I never even brought him up on the show, where it finally dawned on me. I'm like, oh, shit, maybe in the Gauntlet match. That, like, I thought about it organically right not too long before the show of, like, that's a possibility, because Nigel had kind of said, like, if he did it, it would be for Bryan, specifically and whatnot. But he had even teased, like, last year, I think it's his exact gear, too, that, like, hey, look at me in my gear. Oh, I wonder, wink, wink, So you knew it was it was a possibility, and this is the perfect match to do it in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I popped huge, man. I'm a huge Ring of Honor guy, especially kind of in that, 02 to 010 phase here. So I was a huge fan. I saw him, and I think it's it's him defending against Austin Aries live. Like, fucking great match here, you know what I mean? I was huge into it. I lived up 13 years since Nigel's been able to be in the ring. He has not touched the ring physically since 2011, so no, I was a huge pop for me here. So happy to see it here. Looking good. I don't necessarily, obviously, I'm more now is the question, but maybe next year, maybe they'll do a tag or a 6-man, or I will just see if there's even more here, because hey, he looked good. He's in shape. The pop was there. He wrestled his style. He showed off his kind of moveset quickly with Okada. It was a good moment. He
worked well with O'Reilly. He worked well with
feel good moments of the night.
Yeah, he worked well with everybody in the ring. Like, he flowed well with Orange and O'Reilly and Zach, which I was happy to see Zack Sabre.
I looked it up. Zack Sabre and Nigel have never touched. I can almost guarantee him and Orange have never touched. Think about all the matches that we haven't gone to see yet. Besides just the Danielson rematch, like, Okada was a fresh touch. Maybe him and O'Reilly, but probably not. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like if he did wrestle O'Reilly, it would have been like Future Shock days.
It would have
been where O'Reilly's character isn't up to par.
Yeah,
like, it would have been like a Nigel's going to squash him kind of thing. But I like that he used his recoil clothesline, because O'Reilly uses that now, and it's like, no, man, that motherfucker uses that move. That's his move, man. You ain't taking the recoil clothesline.
Him and O'Reilly, by the way, never touched.
They never touched. To see, if he felt good enough to keep going with this, I would love to see Nigel back, especially against Bryan. I wanted him to win so fucking badly. I was like, if he wins, we know Bryan's winning. But I swear to God, I fucking want Nigel to win.
Yeah, that's true. You actually couldn't have let him win, actually.
Oh, I wanted him to win so bad. I would have been totally okay with that. But everyone was mad that Okada wasn't on the card. We got Okada. So
Yeah, and
we
that
had
dawned on
Okada
me
in the
too. Like,
match.
oh, that's probably the Okada spot. There's no way they're not putting him on the show.
Yeah, we got Zack Sabre Jr., which I was happy for. It's just coming right off the G1 Climax win. We got Ricochet, which we knew Ricochet was going to be in here at some point. He came in fucking just guns blazing, dominating everyone, which did look bad when all it took was a buckshot lariat to knock him out of the match for the rest of the way, though.
Yeah, it is kind of brief. And the end of his run's pretty brief.
He dominated everyone. Like, no one touched him. And then he got buckshot. And then it was just like, at the end of the match, I'm like, where the fuck is Ricochet? I was like, what was the last thing? The buckshot lariat. Okay, did he get hit with anything else in the match? I don't think he did. And he was just done. But I really, really liked this match. I liked how it gelled. I liked how it flowed. The surprises were there. The matchups in the match were really good. Until the ending, which felt like a wet fart being released into the entire arena. And this is coming from someone who fucking loves Christian. I do. I love Christian so much. When Luchasaurus came out and it said Luchasaurus, the crowd lost their shit. They thought he was going to attack Christian, and then he held Christian, and then the entire crowd went dead silent. Like, everyone went quiet, and then he just won, and I was just like, he just had a title shot. He just had a title shot. Why are we doing this? Like, as much as I love Christian, out of everyone in the match, he was like near the bottom on who probably deserved to win this match. Just because we just had him and Swerve. Now, granted, Bryan's champ now, but God, that took all the energy out of the arena for that brief moment when he won the title. Do you agree? Disagree?
I would lean more towards agreeing than disagreeing. I mean, it's good heel heat, but like you said, like, we're not that far attached from him finding Swerve. I don't see him taking it off Danielson unless it's going to be a short Danielson turn. So, yeah, just kind of quick heel heat just to give him a quick new opponent, I guess. I don't know.
It just didn't feel
the all-out match, maybe? I don't know. And yeah, there's a little bit too. I mean, you could liken it to Brock Lesnar's Money in the Bank win. It just kind of suck when like all these like great guys are doing great things, and then someone sneaks in just for a quick it's me. It's like, all right, like it's always going to take the win out of your sails a little bit.
Yeah, at least with Brock though, he didn't just have a title shot like the month prior, but it's just
that's also very true. Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember because I watched with my girlfriend, and he comes down. I'm like, yeah, Christian, get in there, and then he won. I was like, really? And she's like, oh, you're not happy? I'm like, not really, no. I was like, I'm not happy at all. And she's like, does that mean you hate him now? I go, no, I fucking still love Christian, but he was the wrong person to win this match. And they came out saying, oh, it's been booked like this since April. Don't lie. Don't lie. You didn't know you had Ricochet at that point. You didn't know Nigel was going to be there. You didn't know 90% of the shit that was like, don't tell me that Christian was projected to win this back at 4 months ago. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
If that was the case, then you wouldn't have had Swerve and Christian wrestle last month.
So here's the thing. Let's even say that that's true.
Yeah.
To me, that also doesn't mean shit because things change. You're allowed to change your mind too. So like that to me is not even like a good outcry.
That's not a good counterpoint to this.
Right, yeah.
I think it just made it look that much dumber that you stayed in that mindset.
Yeah, exactly. That to me that makes it worse. I'm like, no, we said in April that he wins, so he wins.
And I wouldn't have had a problem with it if he didn't just wrestle Swerve. I wouldn't have had a problem with it. I'm like, Christian snuck in. That's what Christian does. It would have made sense.
Sabre might have been a really cool different choice. Sabre and Danielson again.
Yes, because we know that they're gonna go again at some point. So yeah,
get a hot shot at Ricochet. Even Adam Page and I know he's pissed off against Swerve, but Page and Danielson might have been cool. Like I don't know. There's options.
There was at least six or seven options in that match.
Yeah.
Before I would have gone, maybe Christian.
Like I said, everything else is smooth here, man. They put together a really good. It's 12 guys. I think at the end of the day, a really good 12. They're all super talented here. I still think it's silly. I really wish they would just say this is a 15-man match or a 12-man match and just let them finish it, because I do think it's silly that it's
poor Evil Uno didn't make it out there, and he was supposed to be in the match.
Being the Dark Order. Yeah, if you haven't seen Being the Dark Order, fast forward to Evil Uno in the back, just stretching. All right, I'm next. Pretty sure I'm next. Hey, who's that guy with the hood? It's Ricochet. And all right, I think I'm next.
Yeah, like I was fully expecting that too. Like, let's go to the back, and there's just Evil Uno with his little like number card just waiting. And then like that, or if you were gonna do it, like end it with Hangman like right to go out through the door, and he didn't fucking get out there in time, and then watch Hangman lose his shit, and that's the reason why he would go after Swerve in the main event. It's because he didn't get out there.
They got to do at least that one of these days, where something like there's a big
hand back there or something, or at some point maybe like have like a bunch of like jobbers or like people that like are like lower level guys like being knocked out in the ring, and then there's Hangman going, I told everyone I was going to take them all out if they were in this match, and then there's Hangman coming out from that point. You just have a bunch of like, you know, B level, C level wrestlers that were thrown in there as fodder just to show that Hangman beat the crap out of everyone in the back because he wanted to be in there. Like, don't make him call out saying I'm going to take everyone out in this match, but then never only have it be Evil Uno. Like that's a shot right there. You could have just done it. None of those guys were going to be in the fucking match in the first place, but you could have at least sold that. Next we have the AEW American Championship. Will Ospreay versus MJF. You go first on this one.
Yeah, no, really worthy sequel, follow-up, whatever you want to put it, with these two here. No, I thought, again, they put together a really good match here. I enjoyed this. I think we both said Ospreay, right?
Yeah, we both said Ospreay because we didn't know what they would do with MJF if he kept the belt.
Yeah, and, you know, just give Ospreay that big Wembley win as well here. It doesn't hurt. So, yeah, you know, fun seeing, you know, Garcia back to a degree here. So, yeah, no, I dug this here, man. Like I said, I kind of wish maybe this could have been a fresh matchup. Again, it's my only small thing. You know, when you're going to do a Mania-style match, or even almost any pay-per-view, I would always say, like, should be their first pay-per-view match if you can. So, but otherwise, this is good stuff. And I thought an okay build, too. So,
let me ask you this, because you watched Zero Hour, and I didn't. Yeah. Was there a storyline about his ring being stolen? Because they said that when he was coming out, that his ring was taken and it was stolen, and then that's why he had to pull out those knucks in the match because his ring was taken. Right. I was like, was there something in 0 Hour that like explained that, or
I don't recall that unless they threw it out on commentary and I just wasn't paying attention. There was definitely never like a MJF vignette or anything.
Because he had it. He had it on Wednesday because he used it to bust open Ospreay. So what happened between Wednesday and then for him to lose the ring?
It's Wardlow.
It would have made more sense if it was Garcia who had it. Like that would have made more sense right there. Of course, and my dumb ass for some reason did not predict Daniel Garcia. When he showed up, I was like, oh shit, yeah, Garcia. Why did I not think of that? Totally, like, well, granted, people didn't know if he was coming back as a contract, but my brain did not compute Garcia at all.
I didn't necessarily think. I don't know. Not everything needs an appearance too. So I really completely overthought or underthought it. You know.
Well, no, but when we were talking about like what's next for MJF on the last episode, I was like, I don't really know what would be next for him. I was like, oh yeah, fucking Daniel Garcia. God damn it! I didn't even think about him. I fucking love this match. These two went out there, tore the roof off the place. I think this was the best match on the card outside of the main. Wasn't a fan of the Assassin's Creed ad, but it's better than anything that WWE's been doing with their sponsor bullshit. Putting like Wheatley around the whole fucking ring, and this match is sponsored by fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, no, we're just gonna fucking do it in the entrance. We're gonna do an Assassin's Creed demo thing with Ospreay, who's an Assassin's Creed fucking fanatic. And then we're just going to have the fucking match. So I wasn't necessarily, like, loving, like, the people flipping around Ospreay. I feel like those people are always just like, look at me. It's like, no, we're not fucking looking at you. We're looking at fucking Will Ospreay. I fucking loved MJF's gear. He went full Apollo Creed, and I fucking was here for that. Came on the fucking top hat. Like, I was enthralled. Like I was so like when he had the boxing shorts, I was like, is he gonna wrestle? And he took him. I was like, oh, I was like, I would have loved it if he wrestled in the fucking Apollo Creed shorts. That would have been great. I enjoyed the hell of this match. Ospreay, dude, much like Darby, I don't know how he's gonna wrestle in the next 10 years. Like the neck bumps he was taking in this match, that pile driver, he did not get his hands there. His head was clearly through, and he took that thing fucking flush. Like that was a dangerous pile driver. That Canadian destroyer on the apron was rough. And I say rough meaning it looked brutal, not that he didn't hit it clean. They hit that thing fucking crisp. The cameraman spot worked great, but I couldn't stop laughing that the cameraman's like underwear was just like this polka dotted stripy bullshit. I was just like, that was a choice. You knew your ass was gonna be hanging out, and you decided to choose the most ridiculous fucking underwear and socks. But I thought the cameraman spot worked great. The Tiger Driver looked brutal. Like MJF took that Tiger Driver amazingly. But I loved this match. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna miss the American title. I really fucking love the way that belt looks. I love that. I think that belt looks way better than the international title, in my opinion. I think it looks so much better. It's
gonna go down as a really good looking design that didn't last very long. Yeah.
Yes, I'm all there for the American title. Like, let's get rid of the TNT belt and make the American Championship. I'm all there for it.
No, why do you keep saying the TNT?
Well, no, scratch that. No. They've redone the TNT belt. I'm okay with the TNT belt now because what Jack Berry did to that belt is fucking sexy as shit. But yeah, I'm gonna miss the American Championship. But yeah, Ospreay and MJF went out there and fucking took the show, which we expected them to. I was right about one thing. I was just wrong about where it was gonna happen. I told you Jamie Hayter was coming back. I was wrong about the location of when she was coming back, but I was right that Jamie was coming back. That was the only thing I got spoiled about before watching it live, because it was like 12:04, and I got on Facebook before I had to leave to go do the thing I was doing, and they were like, Jamie Hayter's back, and I'm like, dude, the show just started, and I'm like, oh, I guess because I saw her head into the ring, and then I immediately got back the fuck out, and I was like, oh, I guess Mercedes and Britt started the show then. Didn't realize that was all on 0 Hour with Saraya. I didn't know. So when it started and it was the fucking ladder match, I'm like, wait, did my thing not start where it was? 'Cause I was
that's right. I only went down
so
the results.
Confused.
Yeah, that was obviously the big thing. Yeah, so
I was
Saraya
so
and all of her family, legitimately her entire fucking family, and then Jamie Hayter. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so confused when it opened, when the pay-per-view opened up, and all 12 men were already in the ring. I'm like, wait, where's the Jamie Hayter spot? And then I had to go and look. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I was wrong. I was like, she can still show up. She didn't. So we got Mercedes Mone against Britt Baker. Was it just me, or did they feel like they were out of sync for 3/4 of this match? Did it feel that way to you? They just did not feel like they were in rhythm with each other. They had zero chemistry in the ring.
I'd say 2/4.
To me, it was it was about till the point where they did that reversal body slam on the top rope. Once they did that spot, I felt like for some reason that jarred them into flowing well together. But up to that point, man, everything was clunky. It was sloppy. And it's not. And these are not bad women wrestlers. It felt like that they were on different wavelengths the whole fucking match, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I'm watching it just I'm trying to figure out who is anyone at fault for this, or are they just not comfortable enough with each other in the ring to pull this off? And so, but you agree? You thought they were off about halfway through the match.
It was off. The match felt a little off here. Yeah, this is maybe because Hook and Jericho met the expectations. This is the one that probably is the most disappointing match of the night here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because these are two big names here. Excuse me. Top former WWE person, one of the top AEW people since day one. And so this is a money making match, poster wise, paper wise. Yeah, then for some reason these two never got to the next level, didn't quite click here. Match is probably a little bit too long too, for what it's worth as well. going to the 17-minute mark. DC might have been able to shave that off a little bit here. So, yeah,
And
just
also,
unfortunately, yeah, wasn't
it
as
could
good
have
as you would want it to be.
it could have also been that the crowd was blown out and exhausted from Ospreay and MJF.
Yeah.
The crowd was
tough
not
spot.
into it either. Like, I was watching, like, at one point I pulled myself out of what was going on in the ring and I was watching the crowd and I was just like, yeah, they're not feeling this either, man. Like, there's just something wrong with this match. Like, who was it that we talked about recently? That we were just like, there's something wrong here. The crowd's not feeling it. We're not feeling it. The wrestlers didn't seem like they were feeling it, but everything just felt off the whole way through. And I gotta say this: Mercedes needs to get rid of the moneymaker. That move looks like shit. She never hits it clean. It has zero impact.
Once or twice she's hit it nicely, but yeah, even the first time she did it,
she didn't even. But to beat Britt clean with that, it just looked like, I'm sorry, you take a bigger bump on a hip toss. Like, you do. It did. First off, both of their hairs were all over the place in the match. It looked like they kept getting tangled up in each other the whole way through. But she needs a new finish. She needs to either bring back the bank statement, which I thought was a good move for her. That worked. But ever since she debuted this thing in New Japan, this move has never looked good to me. She never looks comfortable using it. None of the wrestlers look comfortable taking it. And it definitely doesn't look impactful by any means, which just made the ending feel even more flat, that was how they ended the match. But yeah, this one was like I said, I didn't give a shit about, the ladder match or Hook and Jericho, but this was the biggest miss of the night. Anything else you want to add for this match?
No. We kind of said it here.
I thought Camille looked great. I thought she looked great. The Eddie spot worked for what it was. But yeah, there wasn't really much. I still think Jamie should have showed up at some point. I feel like the Jamie showing up would have made a lot better than the Eddie spot. But yeah, anyway. Jack Perry, Darby Allin, coffin match. Of course Darby glued fucking tacks to his head. Why was I not shocked by that? Why? Like, motherfucker, you trying to be Pinhead now from Hellraiser? What the fuck's wrong with you? This was the second shortest match of the night. Now, granted, they said that they had to cut it because they were over on time, but this match didn't do much for me either. Did it do anything for you? And this could have just been show fatigue at this point, but I just didn't care about this.
I'm going to chalk it up to a little of all the above. I mean, did it do much for me? Not a hell of a lot. This is, again, definitely, of all the matches we've said, this is now going to be in the bottom three now as well here because, the shortest amount of time here. So, again, I think it's short and kind of sweet in a way here, and maybe that's what you want before. We're about to have another, 25-minute banger. So, maybe that's kind of done on purpose here, plus on top of the fact that, time was cut. So I don't know. It was all right.
It's not like they did anything bad or wrong in the match.
Yeah, exactly.
It just didn't. I don't know. The flow. It was like just after MJF Ospreay, everything after it until the main event just felt. It's kind of like when Randy Orton and Triple H at WrestleMania 25, like they had the storyline, they had built it, but then once you followed Shawn Taker, it just didn't. Nothing mattered. Same thing with Triple H and Jericho when they had to follow Hogan and Rock at 18. It's just like, guys, the crowd's spent. They don't care. Like, unless and I almost called it. I almost called the end of the match that they were gonna that Darby was gonna lose and they were gonna light the coffin on fire with Darby inside, and they almost fucking did it. But then Sting had to come out and ruin it. What were your thoughts on Sting showing up after he did the whole retirement thing? He still showed up.
No, that's fine. You didn't. It's not a match.
I know. I was okay with it, but I was just like, damn it, Sting. Okay. Damn it, Sting. We could have had the fire coffin. What's wrong with you?
It's been a few months. So, that's fine. This is the kind of show you want to trot him out at, Hall of Famer, legend. So, that was fine by me.
Yeah. Then we had our main event. We had Bryan Danielson against Swerve Strickland. Yes. Danielson coming out the final countdown with the whole crowd singing it. That was fucking great. Swerve's entrance I thought was awesome too. I really wanted to look at the back of Swerve's like long sleeve, like were those past champions on the back of his shirt? I couldn't tell. Could you tell?
I didn't notice. No, I don't know.
Okay. I was like really hoping that they would have gotten a good camera shot of it, and I couldn't make it out. But because on one sleeve was like all of his accolades, like tag team champion and 20 all this kind of stuff. And then he had heads that looked like on like spikes. And I was like, are these people he beat? Is one of them Hangman? Like I want to see this more, but they couldn't get a good camera shot of it. But I thought the aesthetic going into this match was great. Obviously you had Bree and Birdie, and I don't know his little boy's name right there in the corner. So there was that element there the whole time. What were your thoughts on this match?
This is a good main event here. These two have good chemistry. I feel I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch down the line as well, whether it's on TV or pay-per-view here. No, I thought this kind of delivered here. This maybe because again, I'm way more emotionally invested in these two and then the outcome of this match here, to where this really kind of, I think, wakes you up from the previous two matches. You know what I mean? Maybe I wasn't as invested in Perry and Darby, and while I was kind of invested in the women's match on paper, you know, the outcome wasn't that great, but I think this one gets you going again here. Ends up being a tremendous outcome as well here. Just a feel-good moment here. It's like I said, it always reminded me of the Sting pay-per-view a few months ago, Revolution, where it's like, but what are you going to end with? Are you going to end with, Swerve holding the title way up high while Danielson's kids cry in the front row? No, you're going to end with just a feel-good. He did it. He's the world champ. He's with his kids. He's playing around with them even. Like, it's a feel-good moment here. And a show that had a couple of really good feel-good moments. So,
well, I think Birdie would be crying because she's happy because she wants her daddy home and not wrestling.
Yeah, but like bloody and sad loser. I don't know.
So going to the blood spot, like we knew Bryan was going to bleed in the match because Bryan is like Moxley. He's going to bleed in every match. But the bell spot was sick, but that wouldn't have caused the blade job. Like he got cut here. But the bell was to the back. Like, guys, like, hit him with a chair. Do something. Like, don't. Like, at that point, he's like, okay, Bryan, you didn't take the headshot there to get busted. Like, you took it back of the headshot. That was good. That was a sick spot. I loved how Nana threw. I loved everything about it until I saw him bleeding from it. And I'm like, come on, man. Who I did have a problem with in this match was Bree. You're telling Bree, you have been a wrestler for how long, and sold everything in this match. She never once sold any emotion through this entire fucking match. There are points when Bryan's literally screaming "I love you" to you while he's getting his chest kicked in by Swerve. No reaction from her. Swerve is in her kid's face, talking trash to them. Nana's dancing in front of her kids. Her kids are crying. Bree's like stone-faced. I'm like, come the fuck on, Bree. Show some goddamn emotion. You know how to act. Don't act like you don't. And she no-sold the whole fucking show. I'm expecting Bree to like add some elements to this, and all Bree did was just distract me by how she wasn't showing any emotion through the entire fucking match. I also could have done without the dock stoppage on a clean back bump. Like, if you're going to do that, not that I want Bryan to risk a neck injury, but it was a clean bump. Don't stop the match. I love that Swerve chased him off like, motherfuckers, get the fuck out of here. But it's like, don't do a ref stoppage on a smooth bump. Like, that just looks stupid. Then you show a replay of it to further prove that it was not necessary. But like I said, I love the atmosphere that Bryan was having, like reaching for his family while Swerve was constantly kicking his head in. How like Swerve dragged his ass out of the ring bleeding and then stomped his face in front of his kids. I love the whole aspect of that. I loved Swerve no-selling the Busaiku knee, just like thrusting it off at that one point. Like, there were so many great aesthetics to this match. I told you Hangman was going to get involved, and that was the nail in the coffin too. Is Swerve was dominant, and as soon as Hangman showed up, he didn't interfere. He almost did. But it was enough to give Swerve out of his sync for Bryan to get that moment to get over him. I think the moment was great for Bryan when he did win, bringing the kids in, bring Bree in. Once again, Bree fucking no-sold everything. Like, she acted like she didn't fucking want to be there. But yeah, it was a great go home show moment for everyone in the crowd. It was a good topper off to the pay-per-view. Like I said, I think this show had a lot of great moments. Ospreay, MJF, and Danielson Strickland were obviously the two top points. Casino Gauntlet outside of cage winning was a great match. And then everything else was just kind of either fine or not booked right or just weird in certain respects. I still enjoyed it. Most AEW pay-per-views are good or to great. Because you got phenomenal wrestlers out there. They're not going to go out there and put on a shit show. It's just more or less the booking decisions or the overbooking of the shows that is the cause and effect of whether these are going to be good or not. But I think for the most part, like, I sound like I complained a lot, but it's just like I stuck out the stuff that really was a sore thumb. But there was a lot to like about the pay-per-view. And I think they announced already that Ricochet is going against Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite. So we already get Ricochet's first match this week instead of having to wait for like All Out. So we get Ricochet right off the bat. But yeah, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it for the most part. And like I said, the matches that were supposed to deliver did deliver. The matches that we weren't expecting to, except for Mercedes and Britt, they did not deliver at all. But the other matches that we weren't really sold on, they didn't really do much to save us or to make us, go one way or the other, except for maybe the Casino Gauntlet. Because you and I were just like, this concept's not great, but that was a really, really good match until the end. But yeah, any last thoughts on All In?
No, I mean, I'll be even a little higher on than you, man. Because like I said, you're looking at 9 main show matches here.
9 main shows, 3 pre-show.
So, that's still 6 matches I do recommend seeing. Maybe 3 or those, go out of your way to see. A couple of really feel-good moments here, that you just don't get elsewise. Like, go out of your way. If you're any little bit of a Nigel, Ring of Honor fan, go out of your way to see that. If you're a Danielson fan, whether you're a Daniel Bryan fan or a Bryan Danielson fan, or again, a old school Ring of Honor fan, go out of your way to see that. You know what I mean? Tag title is still pretty good here. Might not love the outcome, but still good action here. Mm-hmm. I didn't mind the ladder match as much. So yeah, I think there's still more good than bad stuff that could be worked on here. But overall, I think it's still a pretty good show.
All right. Anything you want to add before we go?
No.
No. All right, well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, go and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Wrestling Crusaders. Of course, we're going to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Let us know in the comments. What was your favorite match of the night? Did you like this show? Did you not like the show? And no, I'm not looking for AEW sucks because WWE is better. I'm talking about just talk AEW. We don't want you to come on here and just be a hater, just to be a hater. If you didn't like something, explain that you didn't like it. Don't just go AEW sucks, WWE's better, or vice versa. But let us know what your favorite match on the card was, and what was your favorite moments. Was it Nigel showing back up after 13 years, or was it Danielson winning the belt, or was it Ospreay getting the international title back? Let us know. Did you guys also feel that Mercedes and Britt were just out of sync for most of the match, like Jordan and I did? Coming up next, let's see, we got Bash at Berlin this week. Hey, they have 5 matches now.
Mm-hmm. Whoa!
Yeah, and then they're doing other shit on SmackDown, which is like their little mini pay-per-view before the show starts. With
that's bullshit. I hate that.
Yeah, but we definitely will be back next week to talk about Bash at Berlin, our thoughts on it. Because that is I'm also not going to be able to watch that live. I have to work, so I'll be watching that when I get home that night. But yes, we are the Wrestling Crusaders. I am Sean Waskrug. That is Jordan JPO Owens. And until next time, in case we don't see you, don't try this at home unless it's on your little brother. Don't tell mom.
So, goodbye. And good night. Bye.